It's an old building, more than a wooden shed. In 1812 we gathered there, that's what the historian said. Will they succeed in rebuilding our markets to serve us like before? Or drop the ball and waste our time and make us wait some more?
We both know it doesn't take 3 days to make potato salad, Frank. Guess I'm on my own again.
So the rest of Fells Point looks so nice. How come that got fixed up but the Markets didn't?
Dave Holmes. I remember that name from when I first started learning about the Markets. Whatever happened to that project?
So in 2005, a good friend of mine, Dan Winner, who also lived in Fells Point with his family, he and I decided to embark on doing a development project together. We both independently were contractors and developers, but over lunch one afternoon, we decided that maybe it was time that he and I would partner up on a particular project. Not soon thereafter, I thought the perfect project to get started on was some of the properties that were actually currently on the market on the 600 block of South Broadway. There were 3 properties on the east side that I felt were a good opportunity for us to put our skills together and more importantly, an opportunity to help revitalize a block that we've always felt struggled. Not soon thereafter, we decided that perhaps the block should be looked more comprehensively, and we looked at other properties that were on both east and west sides of the 600 block of South Broadways. And that really began this very long journey of the marketplace of Fells Point.
We'd actually like to turn the clock back and really look at recreating a market this size. We did some quick studies on looking at that North Market, putting a roof on it, keeping it at one level. The challenge really is architecturally that building to the north is so dominant with the thick walls and thick arches. It looks really out of scale as a one-story building because it would have never been built that way as a one-story building to begin with. It was built that way to support a big structure. And I think that, I mean, not saying that something at one level could be done, it's just, to me, it just doesn't look right. And the market from day one has been a focal point of this project, is an icon that desperately needs to happen.
I'm so upset. Sad face.
2008 started a very tough recession, not only through here in Baltimore, but throughout the country. We knew that we probably would get through all of that approval process and bring on our equity partner. It's just unfortunate by the time we got to that point, the recession was so deeply embedded in the financial markets that it was virtually impossible not only to get debt financing, but to even get an equity group to even look at Baltimore, let alone our own project. We started getting a little concerned that what we had promised the community all along was now at a point where we may end up not only unable to develop the project, but now left with the scarred vacant land of certain properties that were already torn down and partial properties that were torn down. We might have, at that point, had about $10 million worth of our own equity in the deal that we decided to just collapse, meaning to write it off. That certainly started opening up doors to other development groups to come in. And one was the Dolman Group out of Boston. They showed a strong interest in it. We liked them right at the beginning just because they were interested in exactly what we had promised the community group. The Marketplace project is really 2 projects. You have the retail portion and then you have the residential. The residential has just been a big success for the Dolman Klein Group. The retail is the other portion, and while there are a few pieces of the retail puzzle that have been leased, a lot of it hasn't, and I think that is a direct relationship to the market building in the center.
The Marketplace project actually included the North Shed and some alterations to the South Shed and an additional pavilion south of the South Shed, I believe. And all of that was put on hold when it was publicly revealed that the Red Line would be coming through on Alisana, which would also mean that the construction crews for MTA or whoever was subcontracted to do the work would actually be staging their equipment in this very lot that we're standing in, and that could go on for up to 3 years. So they really couldn't pull together a plan that said we have a way of getting around that.
It seems like the markets are just in a spiral of setbacks. Now, after the row fights and the fire, they've taken a hit. With Baltimore changing so much, they've already having so many problems. Is this the market's final stumbling block? Success.